That's the.
Do you have a side you prefer?
No.
Okay. I'll just do a small intro. Okay.
Sure.
All right, we ready?
We're running. It's rolling.
Okay. I am here with DanAndTakei, and for those of you who question that I am the one who's wrong here, I'd like to just make sure that I am pronouncing it right.
That is correct. If I weren't looking, I'd think you were Japanese.
Excellent. Perhaps I just recently found this out myself. Could you just give us a little background? I mean, I think I've been led to believe for quite some time that I've been pronouncing your name wrong.
Oh, you've been pronouncing it Takai.
I have.
Well, many people do that because of the EI. You know, they want to give it that Germanic EI pronunciation, Takai, Einstein, and that. But it's pronounced like in Spanish. E is given the S sound, and I is given the E sound. However, in Japanese, there is a word that is pronounced Takai, spelled T-A-K-A-I, and it translates into English as expensive. So if those people that want to call me that insist on it, I'd be happy to accommodate them.
Excellent.
Takei now, incidentally, doesn't mean cheap either.
Now, you are in town right now for a performance of a reading of The Lord of the Rings. Could you just
Well,
give us
not
a little bit
only
of
a reading, but a concert in this glorious setting here. It's going to be spectacular. The music is absolutely sensational. And it's an abridged version of The Lord of the Rings, but it's been written with great poetry and a sense of drama by Dave Warble. And in this glorious setting, Mother Nature's stage set here, with the water here, and the green here, and the sky, and the mountains, it's going to be a remarkable, splendid experience.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone else is too. What has inspired you to do this particular reading?
Well, the music is extraordinary. The literature is extraordinary, but there is one element that made the difference. Dave Warble. He's the conductor and the composer and the writer of the words, and he is a very persuasive person. And so the combination of all three did it.
All right, let's just touch a little bit of history here for a minute. I'm sure anyone who's watching definitely recognizes you as the now Captain Sulu, I believe. And how does it feel to be part of such an incredible legacy of Star Trek, and how it seems to have affected all of society so many different ways?
Well, it's been one of the extraordinary phenomena. You know, when we did the series back in the 60s, we premiered in September of 1966. We never thought that it was going to be this kind of enormously popular show. And here we are now approaching the 30th anniversary. September of 1996 is going to be the 30th birthday of Star Trek. And we will be celebrating that with a guest appearance by Captain Sulu on an episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Excellent.
So it's going to be a wonderful way to mark that benchmark event.
And that actually leads me into one of my other questions. I was curious of the future of Captain Sulu. I had noticed in one of the last movies that he had a daughter that was introduced. Do you know any of the future that is any of what's the future is holding for her at all, or anything you can?
There's a book written by a wonderful science fiction novelist, Peter David, titled Captain's Daughter, which reveals the background of that daughter. And you know, because when I first saw that film and saw that I have a daughter, I was absolutely baffled by that, as baffled as Captain Kirk was. Who is her mother? These women that don't tell you these things, you know. Which one was it? Well, I found out in the book Captain's Daughter by Peter David, and she is an amazing woman, a powerful woman, a unique and singular woman. And I would like to see a movie made of that book, Captain's Daughter. The other interesting little tidbit is that the scuttlebutt around the studio at Paramount is that the guest appearance by Captain Sulu on Star Trek Voyager is a pilot film for another Star Trek series, the Captain Sulu series.
Ooh, excellent. Yes, excellent. Speaking of the show, what would you say is your favorite original TV episode?
Well, none other than that swashbuckling episode where we saw Sulu with that fencing foil accosting and terrorizing the entire ship with his fencing prowess. That was great fun to do.
Oh, and we remember it all, I'm sure. I know that I do. How about the films? Do you have a favorite film?
Oh, yes. Again, my favorite one is the one in which Sulu looms and dominates. I call it the Captain Sulu movie, number 6, where it begins with Captain Sulu and the climax is Captain Sulu coming to the rescue of that desperately aging captain of the Enterprise and saves the day for him. And it ends with Captain Sulu roaring off in that great huge ship, the Excelsior.
I remember one scene in that particularly was one of your crew members had woken you up and actually was questioning your orders. And how was that? That must have been a real fun episode.
Well,
at the
played
segment
by
there.
none other than Christian Slater. That Christian Slater, as it turns out, I mean, he is a very popular big box office movie star, but he's also a Trekkie. He campaigned vigorously to get that role on Star Trek. You know, any cameo he wanted to do. And on the day that we shot that, there he was wearing the Starfleet officer's uniform, and he was like a puppy dog running up and down that set. It was kind of cute to see him like that.
I'm curious, just out of curiosity, I had noticed, and I've showed some people, in one of the movies, I believe it was the Shakari movie, that
Star Trek 5, I think.
the Undiscovered Country, was it, or was it the other
Final
one?
Frontier.
The Final
I
Frontier.
think.
And there was a scene where
He knows.
there was a scene with Kirk and Bones and Spock all in the brig, and they were just discovering Sybok was going over the air telling everybody, you know, what his plan was to fly into the center. And if you watch in the scene, there's a scene where Kirk says something to the effect of, until Sybok's in here, you know, he's really kind of just telling Spock, you know, we really need to pay attention on what we're doing. But then he like actually stops and looks at the camera and then looks and continues his lines again. And I've seen it in the films and on TV. And I'm just wondering, would you know whom I might be able to contact and then let them know about that, to verify that it's actually going on?
Well, I don't know. You know, I'm going to have to review that again.
It's an incredible scene. It's an incredible scene.
He looks at the camera.
He doesn't look at the camera. It's more like, he's like, you know, I'm talking to Spock here, and then he's like, ah. And he looks over there, and the camera's still over there, and he looks over here, and like you can tell the director's like, no, keep going, we'll cover it up in editing.
No. As a matter of fact, Bill directed that one. So maybe he was looking at the cameraman to give him some instruction.
It was crazy.
Some direction there.
But see, it would be an incredible thing to say.
You Trekkers, you know these details that we don't quite catch.
Okay, I'm just curious. I also just let's talk into the future a little bit. What are some of the other future plans that you have going now?
Well, as a matter of fact, there's plans being made for this Lord of the Rings concert to move to Australia, Canberra, Australia, the capital of that country, and plans are afoot to roam all over the world with us as well. I'm doing a movie right now currently. As a matter of fact, I flew in from Montreal where we're shooting this on location. The film version of a novel titled The Best Bad Thing, a novel by Yoshiko Uchida, and that should be out around May of next year. And exciting plans are afoot at Paramount for Star Trek continuing as a movie. The Next Generation, I think, just completed their second movie, and that should be coming out in November. And I gave you a hint about this fourth spin-off TV series that might be coming, so it seems Star Trek might be with us for another 30 years.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very, very much for your time.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you very much. Excellent.